generally speaking, the stock market is now 15%.
And I think our last update was Harris was at 53 to 54%. I think 53.8% on the polls, whether you believe that, and also on a lot of the betting revolving associations also. So that now has turned. So we now see that Donald Trump is a 55% maturity, which we're 3 weeks out. And he's made incredible ground. The one thing I've noticed with him, and there's nothing about him, he's a hell of a salesman. Whether you like him or not, he's a real strategist. And bringing the likes of Elon Musk, focusing on how to fix a country, and akin to how to fix and turn around a company. He's well credentialed in that area. And I think what he's resonated with people talking about, what's been very strategic, I think is talking about the tax deductibility for cars, bringing back income and jobs and maintaining that in America. Whether that can be done or not is another thing. I think it's a bit of a reach to move taxation from 21 to 15%. I think that'll be a real challenge at the cost of what? Kamala Harris hasn't had a lot in her tool bag because the last term's been pretty ordinary under Biden. She's obviously an intelligent woman, but I think this time that right now I would say that Trump is pretty much trying to freight trainer, and I think he will, if he maintains his position, I think he'll do extremely well between now and the next 3 weeks. But things can change. It's the one thing I noticed that come out of some of the reports, we're trying to assist the middle class, as I mentioned, with tax deductibility on vehicles. That's a big thing. Not too sure how the economy is going to maintain trying to keep China out of the equation, and whether America can maintain being competitive with the tariffs they're imposing as well. So time will tell, but certainly resonating with a lot of people. As I said last time, there's only about 5 million undecided swinging voters over 7 states. And that it looks like now that he's probably gained more votes for people. And I think a lot of it is hinged on individuals thinking about themselves, thinking about their home life and their children, and taking probably more of a commercial look at the candidates, and Trump having more to offer, whether they like him or not. I think that's, and I think that happens here in Australia as well.
On the ground, when you listen to interviews with everyday Americans, the one thing that they always seem to go back to is that things were a lot cheaper or more affordable when Trump was in last time, and things have got way more expensive now. Do you see that as are we looking at the hip pocket nerve? Is that what it's all about, this one?
Well, I think that's right, but keeping in mind, zooming out for a moment, is that we've got, an inflation that's impacting, in excess of 7 billion people. I won't say 8 billion, but it's certainly, the inflation has affected all countries, the West, the East, all of Europe, and the cost of living was cheaper, but so was interest rates were a lot lower. And keeping in mind now that interest rates are effectively 3 times what they were under the Trump administration from 2016 to 2020, and then you had COVID, so cost of living triggered by COVID. It's a different time. Things were obviously a lot cheaper back then, but so was everything. Interest rates, fuel, food, travel. Travel was, you could go to Europe and return a business class ticket to the US was $5,000. Now it's 12. So everything's just jumped. And inflation triggered by the knock-on effect and delays and cost of labour and so forth with inflation is, so everything stems back to everything was doing extremely well up until that dark day on the 8th of December 2019, the outbreak of the pandemic. In March 2020, things changed dramatically since those dates. The Australian candidates now are pretty much a sea of sameness. I mean, Albanese is not charismatic, doesn't come across well, not strong. No one really knows what his policies really are because he doesn't understand his own policies. And the same goes for the Liberal Party as well. Dutton recently has come out with some strategies, but Dutton, I don't know whether Dutton's believable. I don't think people believe him, and he's probably the only person we've got there of substance. But they seem to come out with very abrasive headline policies that, in hope to sort of captivate and dangle these ideas and concepts to try and entice voters. I don't know, in Australia, it's a completely different market to the US. I lived in America for a third of my life. It's a complete different market, different thinking, different attitudes to the US, to the Australians, and you know, people. We're a very sceptical nation, where the Americans are can-do place. Completely different environments. So yes, I think that the politician that comes across, like the Costello, the Howard, Keating, for example, whether you liked him or not, very innovative, made massive changes, floated the dollar, bought an imputation, franking credits, SGC super, did some amazing things for this country, as arrogant as may be, but incredible. So I think, yeah, there will be. Who is that person? There's no one as a real standout for me in the Australian politics tonight, anyone in Canberra. I think they will. The problem you've got is how gridlocked they are, how blocked. You know, the Greens have got a strong footing on now on the front bench, and I think that you can getting up and with great policies is one thing, getting them through and getting support's another. So, you know, the key for me, I think, is everyone seems to have forgot. In business, you're dealing with the employees, and the customers are the most important people in your business. Employees and customers. I think politicians have actually forgotten about resonating to. They're the taxpayer and resonating with. They seem to be fighting over each other rather than promoting some great concepts and ideas and innovation to the voters. Because I think you would get money follows management, and I think great ideas and creativity follows. You know, it will support the voters will follow. You know, creativity is not a science; it's an art. A wise man said to me one day, and I think that's right. And I think that it lacks creativity, innovation, putting more roads and creating infrastructure where our roads aren't anywhere near as bad as what people claim. The spending's wrong, the investment's wrong, and it's an attack on the rich in this market, both sides. So, you know, I don't want to sound like a pessimist, but there's no real standout, there's no white knight on either side at the moment.